Morning everyone, Ruben here, Kinder Dog PDX, and today is Sunday. I dropped the ball last Sunday with the question of the day video. So I'm back this Sunday with question number 2 of question of the day, and this one is as follows. I have 2 dogs. One of them loves to jump on people and doesn't come when called. She has to be on leash anytime out back because she jumps the fence. We also have a cat that we keep separate because she is too overstimulated by it and scratches at the door to get at the cat. She paws and mouths to get your attention. She also barks at our other dog if he gets too close to her toys or treats. Our other dog pulls a lot on the leash when trying to go for a walk. Barks at other dogs when out on a walk, and he's basically picking up on all the bad behaviors of the other dog, and they have been in a scuffle over toys. Okay, so great question for a question of the day, because there's a lot of stuff in this question to talk about, right? So you got 2 dogs. One of them loves to jump, doesn't come when called. So I would imagine maybe the other one does okay with that. It doesn't really mention in here just other than pulling on the leash and barking at other dogs. But, training is going to go a long way. So I would be focusing on getting them trained up, okay? Because that's going to create the language that you need between you and your dogs to be able to tackle problem behaviors, right? You don't like your dog running towards the fence and jumping over it, call them away from it. But in order to do that, they got to have a good recall. So get some good training in, get your dogs listening to you, because that's going to be a good first step, okay? With the cat issue, we've had this a couple of times. Like our usual approach is coexistence, right? Get your dog to hold a command on place, and slowly the cat is going to realize that the dog is under control, and they might start feeling more comfortable coming out around the dog, because beforehand they were getting pestered by the dog perhaps, right? So teach the dog place. Let the cat see that you got them under control, right? The other side to that is we should have a consequence for going after the cat, right? So this is where previous training comes in, preferably remote collar training, because it's hands-free, there's no leash, and the dog can act a little bit more natural. But the dog tries to go after the cat, you give them a firm correction. That is not acceptable behavior, because the dog could kill the cat, okay? And slowly but surely, you can get them reacclimated to each other, because the dog's like, well, I don't need to mess with the cat anymore, and the cat's like, cool, the dog's not going to mess with me anymore. We can start to coexist, okay? Pawing and mouthing at you for attention, right? That's just pretty bratty stuff. So going back, place work, get your dog to just hold a command, and you determine when you want to give affection. Go play with the dog, right? So the dog's on place. You're like, hey, Fido here, let's go for a walk. Cool, we're done with the walk, go back to place. You're wanting to go outside for a potty. Fido here, let's go outside. Oh, hey, we can play outside. Let's go back in, Fido place, okay? You should be determining when the affection is given, because a dog who comes up and demands that could get a little bit more pushy when their efforts aren't working, right? So if for now she can go put her head on your lap and you pet her, cool, that's where it starts. And then maybe she does it again and you don't pet her, then she mouths you. And then you don't pet her again after she mouths you, maybe she nips you or barks at you. It's always a progression, and the dog is just testing out to see what works. In this case, pawing and mouthing has worked for affection, okay? So We want to watch that stuff, and place is a really good starting point for that. Okay. And barks at other dogs if our other dog if he gets too close. So this is like, another thing about resources. For us, dogs, I think that's a lot to ask of dogs to share resources. Now, it doesn't say in here if the dogs were growing up together or if they're two separate dogs that, were gotten years apart from each other from rescues or whatnot. But in my experience, we had two puppies at the same time, and they could share resources. They could they could nibble on the same bully stick and no issues, right? However, when we adopted Oso, we learned that wasn't the case, right? And so for a little bit, we tried to force that kind of, hey, you guys need to share your stuff. I'm just gonna leave these things around, and that's a recipe for disaster. So resources should be up, toys, bones, all of those things should be away, and you again dictate when those things come out. So for us, we live in a house with 3 dogs. If I want to give them a bone, I put them all on their designated, I put them all on place wherever that is, and then I give them their bone. There's no stealing each other's bones, none of that crap. Okay. And if it looks like someone's going to do that, I'm going to address it, okay? Because they don't need to do that. That's rude, pushy. They don't need to do it, okay? So control the resources. You give it to them, right? They don't just go to their toy bin, pick it up, leave it out, because that's how stuff can happen, right? Because that dog could think she owns those things, and then the other dog comes around, and she's like, no, I own those. Those are mine. You don't have those, okay? So keep your resources up, right? The other dog pulling on the leash, that goes back to training, getting good, solid walk in, because that could also help with the barking on the leash. If he's pulling on the leash, that's creating tension. And, yes, hi, Lou. That creates tension, which can just exacerbate his state of mind and lead to barking, lunging, all of that stuff. So the looser the leash is, the more relaxed your dog can feel. So get a good walk going in place. Let's see. Yeah, picking up on the bad behaviors of the other dog. Once you get that other dog in check, I guess you'll see better things from your other dog, because they won't be picking up on her bad behaviors. Okay. And, they've been in a fight over toys. Again, toys are the same as the bones. They don't need to be in the mix, right? All that stuff does is it adds excitement. It adds more arousal to the environment, right? So again, I live with 3 dogs. We didn't have 3, we only had 2, but I learned that, okay, I was playing with the ball, and Oso went after Mayawa, and okay, so maybe we don't need the ball anymore. And through the years working with other trainers and things like that, we don't need to have these chuckets in there, we don't need to have tugs in there. Just let the dogs outside and let them do their thing. They have just as much fun doing that than they would with a toy in the mix. And again, we just don't know. That's just a tall order, okay? So save yourself the headache, save your dogs the headache of having to feel like they need to protect these resources, and just get rid of them. Save the ball playing for when you want to go out with just one dog and go play ball with them. That's what I do. I use toy playing time as bonding time between me and her, right? She likes to play fetch, so I'll take her out, play fetch with her, but I don't need the other dogs there to do that. When the other dogs are around, other dogs are around. They're just playing amongst themselves, running around, having a good time, right? So, yeah, I think this touched on a lot of things. If you guys have any questions, feel free to hit us up in the comments. or in another little platform area on Facebook, on our other Instagram, or on our Instagram, because this is on IGTV. We've got a bunch of training videos that go over a lot of the stuff I mentioned here, the walking, getting some good training in. So yeah, I hope you all enjoy the Sunday. This is question number 2. I will be better about being here again next weekend. Number 3, next Sunday. Yeah. So again, if you have any questions, hit us up in the comments. Also, be sure to follow us on Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, just so you can get notified of new videos that we post up, little training tips, all kinds of things like that are free, free for you to, try to implement. You kind of got to follow the breadcrumbs to maybe make sense of it all, because it's just kind of thrown out there. But those 3 platforms are where we're at. So hope you all have a great day, and we will talk to you later. Bye.